And then the last thing that I have to mince is my pine nuts. Now you could actually do all of this in a food processor if you wanted to. I'd like to show you how to do some things today that don't even require a food processor, because I know that a lot of people don't use food processors and they are a little bit scared by them. One of the things that we teach here at Living Light is how to use all this equipment so that you can make your work a lot easier. It's important, of course, to know how to use knives, and that's the first thing that you have to know how to use. But you can also learn how to use time-saving devices like food processors. The one challenge when you're making this particular dish in using a food processor is that you really only pulse it for a minute. If you pulse it too long, you're going to end up with a fine, smooth, kind of buttery pâté. And this is nicer, I think, when it's a little bit chunky. When you're making a large quantity, however, if you were going to do this as a pass-around appetizer or even a platter of appetizers, putting it in the food processor is much faster. This is one step that you wouldn't have to do. And then what I would do in that case is I would put it in the food processor, pulse it a little bit, then add my whole fresh herbs and not even pre-prep them, not even mince them. Just put them in there and then do the rest of it together. But just do it enough that the herbs are still a little bit, minced and not pureed. You wouldn't want to get them fully pureed. Okay. Just about ready here. And now what I want to make sure is that I have a nice, smooth mixture so that it will hold together. It looks like it could still use a little bit more. And this can help mashing it a little bit, as you see here, as I'm doing. That breaks the oils apart a little bit. You can actually do this with a lot of nuts. You can actually break them apart without even chopping. You break them first like this, especially walnuts. Just break them first before you chop them. You really don't need much chopping then. Okay, so there's the rest of it. And we're going to now mix everything together. We have garlic. Our salty seasoning here will be light miso. Light miso paste is a wonderful flavoring agent for pâtés because it's both sweet and salty. And it also contains more friendly flora for good digestion. So we'll be flavoring our pâté with that. So let's add that along with our garlic. In fact, I'm going to mix the garlic and the paste together first. And it'll kind of break the paste up a little bit. Okay. Then I can mix the whole thing together, including my pine nuts. And I'll have a beautiful filling here. This is one of my best friends in the kitchen. It's a vegetable scraper, and it's just like having a big shovel. It's just great to use for things like this. Okay, so once we have this all mixed up, then all we have to do is fill our mushrooms. And I'll fill one of them for you, and then I'm going to have my lovely assistant here. By the way, I haven't introduced my assistant to you. This is Judy. And Judy is a student here at Living Light. How long have you been here, Judy? This is your 3 weeks so far, and you'll be here for another week? Correct. Okay.
And the weekend.
Pardon?
And the weekend.
And the weekend after that, yes. This coming week we have a catering class, and next weekend we have our new holiday traditions class. So we're going to be having just amazing gourmet foods for that. Okay, so now that's well integrated, and I'm going to take a mushroom and then just take a portion of my mixture, put it inside the well here, just like that, pack it in, and I like to kind of mound it over the top here so it's nice and rounded, just like that. Okay, that's what it looks like. And then it's going to change when it dehydrates. This here obviously was made in the food processor. You can see the difference in color. It's a little bit more blended. You can see that the herbs were integrated in, so it's a little bit more green. So this is what they look like when they're all together, whether it's more green or less green, depending on how you choose to put your filling together. And then it's going to go into the dehydrator for really almost as long as you want it to. Just a little bit, maybe half an hour, and it will be slightly warm. 2 hours, and they'll really have shrunk a lot, just as if they were baked. And they'll really look and taste a lot more cooked than they do right now, because these so far have really only been marinated, and look at how much darker they are just since they've marinated. You see how much darker they are? And they haven't even been subjected to heat yet. This will become very juicy, and because mushrooms have so much water content that as they marinate in the warmth of the dehydrator, a lot of that moisture will come out, and the mushrooms themselves will shrink a lot, and then it'll be a very juicy bottom. But the mushrooms will look a lot more cooked. So